Courageous.
Kind.
Passionate.
And tenacious.
Join us in celebrating 32 exceptional Australians committed to serving and improving our communities.
Live from the National Arboretum in Canberra.
This is your 2023 Australian of the Year Awards.
Good evening and welcome to the Australian of the Year Awards for 2023. I'm Susie Youssef and it is my privilege to be here once again to honour some truly amazing Australians and the extraordinary work that they do. Now tonight is a celebration of excellent humans and I am always happy to party with the most excellent Hamish MacDonald.
Thank you, Susie. It's lovely to see you again this year. Good evening to all of you here, to everyone at home and everyone, of course, at the National Arboretum in Canberra, as well as those watching on ABC, ABC iView and our listeners joining us as well on ABC Local Radio. If you'd like a version that is Auslan interpreted, please go right now to the ABC News Channel. And if you are on the ABC News Channel, welcome to the Australian of the Year Awards for 2023. I think that officially makes you a quadruple threat, Susie. We'd like to start, of course, by acknowledging the traditional custodians of this land, the Ngunnawal people.
We pay our respects to elders past and present and to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. We acknowledge and pay respect to your continuing culture and the contribution you make to the life of this country.
And what a beautiful evening it is here in the nation's capital tonight. For almost 65 years, these awards have brought together incredible people from all 8 states and territories, not only as a way of honouring them, but also to thank them for their compassion and their resilience as well.
It is so humbling to be in a room with these outstanding individuals and to share their stories with you tonight. In fact, this event has become my annual wake-up call that while some of us can say that we're good sisters or great friends or generous lovers, we can always do more for our community and our country like these 32 inspiring nominees.
Behave, Susie. From these 32, 4 will receive national awards tonight. Australia's local hero, the Young Australian of the Year, the Senior Australian of the Year, and of course, the 2023 Australian of the Year. As well as their award tonight, our 4 national recipients will each receive a Coolamon and a set of clapsticks, beautifully produced by Ngunnawal knowledge holder Richie Allen. Now, the Coolamon is a tool traditionally used for carrying goods, while clapsticks, as we know, are musical instruments used to create sounds that connect the spirits. And these items have been gifted to signify a connection between all Australians and the Ngunnawal people and Mother Earth.
Now, this year is extra special as it marks 20 years of the Local Hero Award, which recognises the remarkable contributions made by Australians in their local community. And we are so honoured to have many of our previous local heroes here tonight, so please give them a huge round of applause. We'll be meeting some of them a little bit later on, and we'll also be hearing some wonderful music by the singer-songwriter Budjera. We'll be hearing the dulcet tones of our ANU Chamber Choir and our amazing band.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to welcome all the dignitaries in the room tonight, including Their Excellencies the Governor-General and Mrs Hurley. Great to see you again. And now, to present the awards for this evening, would you please welcome the Prime Minister, the Honourable Anthony Albanese.
Well, thanks very much, and I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet. I pay my respect to elders, past, present and emerging, and I also acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are with us this evening. And I do say that I'm proud to lead a government committed to the implementation of the Uluru Statement from the Heart. Later this year, in a referendum, every Australian will have the opportunity to take up the generous and gracious invitation to recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples in our nation's birth certificate, our Constitution, and to support a voice to our Parliament. I believe, just like tonight, it will be an uplifting moment of national unity. Every Australian can be proud that the society we have built together down the generations includes the world's oldest continuous culture. My fellow Australians, we gather tonight on the eve of our National Day to honour and celebrate those who represent the very best of our national character, global stars and local heroes, young Australians and those rich in years, people of all backgrounds and from every part of our continent. A diverse group united by a common quality. They inspire us. They inspire us each and every day by living and serving and upholding our nation's values, our compassion and generosity, our courage and initiative, our ingrained sense of fairness and our deep belief in service to community. To all our nominees, congratulations, and I thank you. Give them a clap. They certainly deserve it. Thank you for everything you do for others. Thank you for everything that you do to make this a better country. And to our outgoing Australians of the Year, Val Dempsey, Daniel Knorr, Shanna Wan, and of course, Dylan Alcott. You have brought tremendous passion, great decency, and endless good humour to your roles. And in doing so, you have set an incredibly high bar for those who will follow you and offered a powerful example to us all. On behalf of Australia, I say thank you. Now, tomorrow, at ceremonies right around our nation, people born under every flag and drawn from every faith and tradition will pledge their loyalty to our nation, our people, and the democratic beliefs we share. In choosing Australia as their home, our newest citizens are embracing our belief in opportunity for all, sharing in the respect we have for hard work, joining in the optimism that drives our aspiration and the compassion that guides us to look after each other. Australians live those qualities every day, especially when times are tough. And tonight, all of us are thinking of people around our nation battling the aftermath of devastating floods, those mourning lost loved ones, those seeking to repair or rebuild their homes, and every one of the emergency services personnel, the Australian Defence Force, and the volunteers who continue to work so bravely and tirelessly to help their fellow Australians in their hour of need. Time and time again, the worst of nature reveals the best of our people and their character. As the saying goes, kindness in another's trouble and courage in our own. And whatever challenges the future brings, we know that Australians will rise to meet them. Friends, on Australia Day, we celebrate how fortunate we are to live in the greatest country on earth. And each of us knows it can be greater still, more fair, more prosperous, more equal. A nation where the doors of opportunity are truly open to all. Together this year, let us dedicate ourselves to the pursuit of that ambition. To our nominees, our winners, and to all Australians, I wish you a very happy Australia Day and a safe and happy year ahead. Thank you very much.
Prime Minister, thank you very much indeed. Well, Australia's Local Hero Award recognises community-focused Australians who go above and beyond and create change at a grassroots level. And one such person is 2022's Local Hero, Shanna Wan. Shanna is here with me now. Welcome back to this stage.
Bit different this time around.
It certainly is. Obviously, this award, the Local Hero, is entering its 20th year this year. It's been incredible to see you use this platform. Is it fair to say that your message that it's okay not to have a drink has been supercharged by all of this?
Absolutely, it has. And I mean, what a phenomenal platform. What a phenomenal opportunity. I could barely describe it. A year has flown by, but it's just...
You look like you've had fun.
I've had a bit of fun. I've had a lot of fun. It's been extraordinary, Hamish. And as you said, the opportunity to be the Local Hero recipient has given such a powerful opportunity for Sobering the Country's OK to Say No message to be amplified. And that's beyond precious because we've still got a lot of work to do. But because of this amazing opportunity, for which I'm tremendously thankful, more and more people are stepping up and listening and engaging. And I just don't know how to express my gratitude for that.
I think we need to express our gratitude to you, Shanna. It's been so great getting to know you through all of this. Thank you very much for coming back. Please thank Shanna Wan. Now, it's my great pleasure to let you see the nominees for Australia's Local Hero for 2023.
From the Northern Territory, Sasha King.
I want access to mental health education and information to be embedded in all parts of our society. I want everyone to be able to have meaningful conversations about mental health and know how to support someone who might be having mental health struggles.
From the Australian Capital Territory, Dr. Shamura Mirza.
I have seen women from diverse backgrounds suffering in silence. They experience religious and cultural stigma and social isolation. I want to help the women across Australia to find their voices and to feel confident and empowered.
From Western Australia, Jimmy Murphy.
In a world full of wars, climate change and pandemics, doing something in your local community can bring you so much fulfilment. Through taking positive, proactive action by doing, town teams empower Australians to improve their local towns and neighbourhoods.
From Tasmania, Keith Parker.
Australia is a generous country, and this generosity is best shown by volunteers willing to give up their time without any expectation of reward. We need to ensure that volunteers both feel valued and we value them, whether they're on the front line or behind the scenes.
From Queensland, Melissa Redsall.
Teenage mothers often face stigma and judgment and are some of our most vulnerable members of society, facing domestic violence, homelessness and poverty. I'm on a mission to break down that stigma and judgment that stops a young mother from pursuing her dreams.
From South Australia, Christine Robertson.
The majority of pet owners in Australia consider their pets to be part of their family. Australia should be a nation where basic necessities of pet ownership, like microchipping and desexing, should be affordable and accessible for everybody.
From New South Wales, Amar Singh.
I started Charities for Australia because I wanted to bring people together and connect communities. No matter who you are, no matter where we come from, we all belong here. We're all Australians. We need to make society a better place for future generations to come, so it's more accepting, loving, caring, and harmonious place to live.
From Victoria, Belinda Young.
Often women, particularly mums in our society, can feel disconnected and isolated. I'd like to see a future where women and families can feel connected, supported and empowered to overcome common challenges.
What a beautiful bunch of absolute legends. Congratulations and good luck to all of tonight's nominees. Now I'd like to invite Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to announce Australia's Local Hero for 2023.
Thanks very much, Susie. And Australia's Local Hero for 2023 is Amar Singh.
Amar Singh, a proud Sikh man, founded Turbans for Australia to promote multiculturalism and religious tolerance by supplying emergency relief to Australians in need. Amar's efforts have seen essential supplies delivered to Aussies impacted by drought, bushfires and floods, as well as weekly hampers to those experiencing food insecurity. Congratulations to Australia's local hero for 2023, Amar Singh.
In Sikh faith, it's very important that you earn an honest living, meditate, and also give back to others. Sarbat da Pala, which means welfare of all. It's about giving back to the community and helping out your fellow man.
He's helping the community, he's helping people in need, just generally helping. It's really nice.
Looking at him, the way he serves the community, it inspires you to you want to do the same thing. That's how Amar's been inspiring for us and all the other volunteers as well.
Turbans for Australia is the aid relief charity. We help out during disasters. When we first started in 2015, Turbans was a small way to give back and get some fellow Sikhs to volunteer and get involved. But now it's gone beyond faith, diversity, religion, ethnicity. We've got every member of the society coming here to help, be it on the forefront or in the background. Here we are now in a warehouse where we can store thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stock in food and material to get out to people in need. So we get donations when the issue is hot and the issue is very real to people, and that's where we come in. It means our warehouse looking like this, jam-packed with stuff that got here 3 months ago, but people on the receiving end can't take it because they're not ready. So now they're finally out. It's going to be a huge trip, probably 3 to 4 trucks that are going to be heading Saturday morning. We've got barbecues, we've got furniture, we've got toys that are going out to Northern Rivers. They're waiting for us.
Some of these families that you see behind us, they still don't have houses to live in. They're either displaced from their homes or they're living in homes which are still ravaged by the floodwaters.
We've been helping people non-stop really since the floods, trying to repair their homes and their lives and get back to some notion of normality.
Just the fact that they arrived and said, we're here with you, you know, it's an act of absolute solidarity. They came with food, they came with their charity and with compassion, and that's what our community needed.
Seeing the trucks roll in, it was just absolutely incredible that there's organisations that can do that, and so important.
These toys for these kids, it's going to bring so much joy where they've got nothing. This is just going to change their lives and just give them that little bit of hope that people are still out there helping and people do care.
When you see parents and kids smiling, that's probably makes your day. That's sort of, keep us driving.
It's all about connecting to people and telling them that they're not alone in this. We're all thinking about them, we're all supporting them in the recovery, and that's all that matters. G'day Australia, I love you all. I'm not supposed to be here, by the way. It doesn't feel real. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and the elders, the Ngunnawal people, the traditional custodians of this beautiful nation. I pay my respect to the elders, past, present and emerging, and any elders that are here today. Love you, respect you. I understand that Australia is a difficult time for many in our nation, especially from the First Nations. I hope our nation will continue to reflect and come together in name of equality and prosperity and become one. I'm a man who fought to find his place in Australia against lonely and isolation times, coming to a new country with a suitcase as a 15-year-old, and here am I today. God damn it. I wanted to play a role in bringing our communities together, make it a more harmonious place. I wanted to help build bridges And the benchmark of Australianness, there is none, because we're all equal. We all come from different lands, from our wonderful First Nation people to our newest migrants. We're all equal, all one. I'm planting a tree today. I might not be around to sit in the shade, but it's for the next generation, because that's what we've got to leave the place better for our future generation. My little 10-year-old there and my 3-year-old at home today. What we want to do is create not just an understanding of our culture, but the cultures around us, of every beautiful food, the lunchbox that opens around the school, every kid. I want them to be proud of their food, their language, their culture, and their appearance. As a practicing member of a religious community, it's my dream to see Australians from all faiths and all backgrounds treated equally. I don't want somebody judged for their kappa, for their turban or their hijab. We're all human beings, we all bleed red. Each and every one of us deserves to be celebrated for who we are. And it's our duty as migrants from ethnic backgrounds to make sure we open our doors to everyone that calls Australia home, to make sure they can learn about our culture and our values and our traditions. If we build this community stronger, our kids, our future generations will benefit. And it's our moral responsibility to make this place a better nation, because we only came here because it was a beautiful country, remember? We didn't go to Antarctica, a bit further down. The society we help create today is going to be our future tomorrow, and that of our kids. Turbans for Australia, a small group of volunteers that just wanted to give back and help out. And today, we're a strong charity with over 300 volunteers from every faith, every background. So it's not just a Sikh charity, it's an Australian charity. Represents our society, our values. You know, we are running community pantries in Sydney, out of Clyde, Melbourne, we've started a new place in Thomastown. Northern Rivers, we go where our people are hurting, no matter who's there. If disasters strike, we want to be there to be able to help. It's not easy to just sit around and talk about the problems. I urge everyone, be kind and respectful. You too can be part of the change of the solution. Let's make Australia a nation that welcomes and values people from all walks of life. From our First Nations people who've cared for this land for over 60,000 years, to the newest Australians landing somewhere right around Australia at one of the airports with a suitcase, starting this journey all together again. And I want to thank all those migrants that started out these menial jobs that we see around today, serving our food, driving our taxis, many from my community. They all deserve a right to Australia, like many of us have, from the 10-pound poms to the newest Australians. And lastly, I would like to say, we're a rich country with a diverse nation, wonderful land, wonderful food. We're a better and stronger nation if we include and support one another. This was and always will be Aboriginal land. And I'll leave you here today with words from a famous song by John Lennon. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will be as one. Thank you.
Congratulations to Amar Sin, Australia's local hero for 2023. Give him another round of applause. Our next category tonight is Young Australian of the Year, an award which celebrates the achievements of Australians aged 16 to 30, or as some might call them, the Relentless Overachiever Awards. With me now is the Young Australian of the Year for 2022, Dr. Daniel Knorr. Give him a round of applause. Daniel, you founded the Streetside Medics to provide free medical care to people who were experiencing homelessness. Now, I was lucky enough last year to meet your beautiful family, and I can say, hand on heart, they were already so proud of you for becoming a doctor and not a comedian. Why was it that you raised the bar for the rest of us?
Sorry. They were very proud of me, and my parents are a big source of inspiration to me, and that's because they don't just look at a problem and look past it. They look at, well, there's a problem and how can we fix it? And I realised quite early that I wanted to become a doctor and that I wanted to give back to the community in a positive way. And I was very much destined on that path, but I realised that there was a problem, and that's the fact that there were people experiencing homelessness who were suffering of medical issues in silence. And as someone who wanted to become a doctor, who wanted to give back to society, I couldn't swallow that. I couldn't swallow knowing that there were people who weren't able to access healthcare, and especially healthcare and with health conditions that we could treat. And so there's a few quotes that I live by, but you know, fear is something we all have, but on the other side of that is greatness. And if you get the right people to support you and to believe in you, and with the right support network, you can achieve anything. And I always say there is absolutely nothing in this world that is special about me, and I mean that. And if I could achieve this, imagine what everyone else in the world could achieve.
I think we'll agree to disagree on the special thing there, Daniel. But tell me, this last year has been enormous for you. You've achieved so much. What has changed for Streetside Medics?
So Streetside Medics has grown enormously. Over the last year, we've more than doubled our clinics from 4 to 9 clinics. We've tripled the number of vans. We've now got 3 vans that are operational, 1 which is going to Melbourne in the next few months. We've responded to the floods. We've sent a van to Lismore, which spent a few months there providing medical care. We've increased our number of volunteers. We've received federal funding, corporate funding, and we've guaranteed that hopefully my kids one day can volunteer for Streetside Medics. And it's a service that ensures that there is no single person in Australia who is experiencing homelessness who can't access healthcare.
Sounds pretty special to me. Thank you so much, Dr. Daniel Noel. You're amazing. Now let's take a look at the young collagen-filled faces of this year's nominees for Young Australian of the Year.
From Western Australia, Najmuddin Bol.
I have learned to respect the different cultures in this country whilst embracing my own. I want people to be aware of the opportunities around them and be proud of who they are, as they set about achieving their own dreams and aspirations.
From New South Wales, Lottie DL.
People think that protecting our planet is someone else's issue, that someone else is going to save us. I want to help people live a more sustainable lifestyle, one that works for them. We can all do our bit to help save our planet.
From Tasmania, Miriam Dowie.
Running is the foundation of my physical, mental and spiritual health. I also use running as a means to give back to community. But running is my metaphor for life. I want others to believe in themselves and find their purpose.
From Queensland, Tale Ilu.
Decisions that affect the lives of people living in a remote community should be made by them, not for them. My aim is to make my community resilient despite its distance, to make it a place where you can access the best education, quality healthcare and opportunities as anywhere else in Australia.
From South Australia, Awer Mabil.
Every time I step onto the football field, I try to use my performance as a means to change the world. In particular, to create better healthcare and education outcomes for refugees. I try to use my platform to create positive change for others.
From Victoria, Darcy Macaulay Bartlett.
We are past acknowledgements and good intentions. It's time for Aboriginal health and justice to be in Aboriginal hands. Come walk with us together to make systemic and sustainable change for our communities.
From the Australian Capital Territory, Kofi Owusu Ansah.
I want to encourage a space where people have an innate sense of self-worth, so that those on the outside looking in can see the value of others through an empathetic lens and celebrate the differences in perspectives and other ways of life.
From the Northern Territory, Jade Vagona.
I want to see Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people at the forefront of delivering health messages, because we know what we need for each and every one of our community. We need Aboriginal voices to be leading these efforts.
What a fine bunch of individuals. I'd now like to invite the Prime Minister to announce the Young Australian of the Year for 2023.
Thanks very much, Hamish. And the Young Australian of the Year for 2023 is Awer Mabil.
Accepting the award on his behalf, his proud mother and uncle. Awer Mabil is a Socceroo and international football star. He's currently in Europe training with Strata Prague. Awer co-founded Barefoot to Boots, It's a not-for-profit organisation dedicated to supporting refugees living in camps and their host communities. Congratulations, Young Australian of the Year for 2023, Arboretum.
As a young child coming out of refugee camp, coming into this world, trying to build his career in football, that was not an easy thing. Barefoot to Boots is an Australian-based non-profit organisation that works to help refugees up in northern Kenya in a place called Calma. Because Aware was born in the camp, me and Aware had the intention to go back and visit our past. But to do that, we never wanted to come back empty-handed. We were able to go to his club and to other clubs in Adelaide and ask them for training gears. So they gave us jerseys for playing. We had only 2 big suitcases full of clothes and few footballs. That's how Barefoot to Boot was born. It was an idea to really help enlighten the life of refugees wherever they are. A refugee camp is like a prison without a wall. You know, you sit there, you wait for food, you wait for all the resources to come to you. We used to go and search around the garbage area and find plastic bag, and we string it together to be able to make football. People go to the pitch, play, forget the poor living condition of the camps. But if you can have a feel for a real ball that people play football in the big arena, it already gives them an automatic feeling that they just don't belong to the camp. They also belong to the other part of the world. A refugee child sitting somewhere watching Mobile, it would have been a big thing to them. You send them hope.
Our Mobile opens the scoring for Australia. It's his first goal in World Cup qualifying for 2022.
I think every time he puts on a shirt to play for the nation, he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for the communities in South Australia, the refugee community, also for all Australians.
When we came back, we were joined by people who wants to help more. We were given a lot of stuff from Royal Adelaide Hospital. We took those to a new hospital that was built. Our equipment were the first to be donated. We were able to help girls. We gave them sanitary pads, which helped them go to school without having to struggle. I'm 100% proud of his achievement as a brother, as an Australian as well.
First and foremost, it's about winning that game, wanting to do extremely well for the nation, but also him himself being a role model to all those kids and giving them a pathway. In the playoff game against Peru, penalty shootout, we got to the 6th penalty and A was stepped up and he was the man that was going to take the nation to the World Cup.
Mobile against Scalesi. Beautifully tucked away by our Mobile. And Australia lead again, 5-4.
Where people will talk about you for a long time and about what you achieved, but also how you helped. He leads by example and he shows the rest of Australia what can happen if you have a strong mentality and you fulfill your dreams.
He's going to serve the people he needs to serve. He's going to play the football he wants to play. And he's going to make big impacts as he wanted to.
I've been given the opportunity in such a beautiful country to be myself, and for me the most important thing is to help the next generation and also inspire them to be themselves and follow their dreams. When I give back, and you know, Australia gave me and my family that opportunity to follow our dreams, I reached out to my football family and collected all the football boots. I took them to the refugee camp where I was born, and Barefoot to Boots has grown since and has become something more than football. Football is a foundation, but through that we help hospitals and equality rights for the girls. Also, we have donated a few incubators, and those incubators are helping save lives, and that for me is the biggest thing that we have ever done. We're on missions to keep helping the less fortunate, and it's just it fulfills my heart when I help people. And also another topic that I'm really close to, it's mental health. I try to be the voice for it when I play football, just to try to encourage people who are struggling with it to speak up, because it's not so easy to speak up. So I encourage everybody to try to speak up when they're going through some struggles. For me, mental health is a big thing, and I'll continue to stand up for it to try to help people be okay with it. I would love to say thank you to my beautiful mother for always being there for me and my siblings, and she's always been there. A single mom, moved across the world to give us this opportunity to pursue our dreams, and for me, she's the biggest inspiration for me. And my football family for giving me the opportunity to also chase my dream and also allow me to help through football. I'm really sorry that I couldn't be there, because I have to prepare for the opener of our season. It's really difficult that I can't be there, but I am there in spirit, so thank you very much.
Well, congratulations to Aware and his incredibly proud mum. We'll take care of the partying here, and we'll look forward to the photos of the party in Prague later tonight. Well, as we mentioned tonight, is also a celebration of 20 years of the Local Hero Award, and that it goes to people who transform and support local communities right across this great nation of ours. And we heard some noises coming up from table 25. It was just a bit noisier here than in the rest of the room, and it's because there's a little local hero reunion going on tonight. We've got 2004's Donna Carson, Vicky Jelly, who was recognised in 2017, and of course from 2018, none other than Eddie Wu. Would you please welcome all of them? It's great to see you all back. Donna, you were one of the first people recognised with this award almost 20 years ago for your work in the domestic violence space. 20 years on, what's the impact of the award been? What's the legacy of it?
The legacy for me, when I won the award, it increased the profile of my campaigning and activities, and I started court support in my local town, Taree, as there wasn't any back in the day, and a place to wait at court in safety while attending court as a victim of crime. Since then, many changes have happened. I've witnessed many changes. Service providers lifting their game up and filling the gaps that I slipped through when I was going through a traumatic time. And I'm thrilled to see that other changes, but there's still more to come. And it was good to know that I was making a difference and helping those in need in my community. And it was like a ripple effect. Because my profile was lifted, other communities, I suppose, were thinking, well, that's a good idea.
We might do that too.
We might do that too. Seems easy.
Vicky, you raised money for a much-needed cancer centre in the southwest of Victoria. 6 years on from when you were recognised, how much of a difference is that making?
Oh, it's made a huge difference. Majority of people don't have to travel away from home for their treatment. We probably have a radius of about 200 kilometres over the border into South Australia where people will come for their treatment, especially for radiotherapy. Over the last 6 years, we've treated 2,000 radiotherapy patients, and with 30,000 treatments to those patients, chemotherapy, medical oncology. We've got a wonderful suite of things that we offer. We've got a survivorship and supportive care program that we started, which is grown in Victoria. People have looked at what we've done, and clinical trials have just lifted. We had the first patient in Australia to be able to take part in a new lung cancer trial.
So just making a small difference.
Oh, look, it's amazing. And We continued as the Peters Project Foundation. People continue to give money. We don't ask for the money, but people continue to support us because they may have come and used that centre and they've realised what the difference it makes. It's the gift that keeps giving.
Of course, the really shy, quiet, retiring previous local hero is Eddie Wu. Eddie, how often do you remind your high school students that you were once Australia's local hero?
That was a low shot, Hamish, and I don't blame you for taking it. Never, but it's an amazing thing and a privilege to be, I guess, an emblem and to raise the flag for teachers around the country as people worth celebrating.
Did it make a difference for you in terms of the message you were trying to send?
I think absolutely. I mean, you know, these last 3 years have given so many homes around the country a reminder of just what it is that teachers do with not 2 or 3, 30 young people with all of their energy and enthusiasm and challenges and troubles every single day. And so I think these awards have just opened so many doors for me to wave that flag, to encourage people, my fellow educators, to even see younger people in the next generation want to become teachers and recognise that's something worth doing. And I mean, Hamish, I went on Play School and danced like a dinosaur to encourage our youngest minds to find joy in patterns and numbers. So it was all worth it.
The very definition of greatness. Would you please thank Donna, Vicky and Eddie?
In celebration of all our local heroes from the past 20 years, please welcome two-time ARIA Award winner, singer-songwriter Budjera with Ready for the Sky.
Would you please put your hands together one more time for Butchera? Butchera and our amazing band will be back here with more a little later on, so do stick around for that. Now, our next award celebrates dedicated Australians over the age of 65. Before we go to this year's nominees, yes, you've got to stop dancing now, Val. Joining me on the stage is Val Dempsey, who's 2022 Senior Australian of the Year. Good to see you.
And you too.
How's your year been?
How long you got?
Not that long. So 50 years volunteering with St John Ambulance. I'm assuming that you just slowed down and took it easy this year.
I don't know what slow is. I honestly look at the calendar and I say to Lindsay, oh my God, what's on for tomorrow? And he goes, you're up at 6 o'clock, you've got radio. And then it just keeps going from there. But what an opportunity. What an amazing opportunity to get the message out there that you jolly well need to learn first aid, the lot of yous, right? Because it actually saves lives. And this year, the message is out there. And I can't stop now because it's going to happen right across Australia.
So before everyone leaves tonight, you'd be doing a little lesson out the back, is that?
Honey, just hang around. I can teach you CPR in 5 minutes.
Would you please put your hands together for Val? Now, let's see who our nominees are for Senior Australian of the Year for 2023.
From the Australian Capital Territory, Professor Tom Calma, AO.
Australia has a 65,000-year-old history, and now is the time to recognise first Australians in our Constitution. Voting yes in the referendum will enable Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to have a voice in policies and programs that impact us.
From Tasmania, Dr. Frances Donaldson.
As an experienced medical practitioner, I have seen incredible changes in our healthcare system. I want all older Australians to remain active and engaged and improve their quality of life and keep them out of institutional care.
From Western Australia, Teresa Kwok.
There are complexities of the need of older Australians from cold background. We need better access and avenues in the aged care services to improve independence and well-being. Let's come together to build a better community for all and not leave anyone behind.
From Queensland, Claude Lyle Harvey, OAM.
I've walked thousands of k's around this country to prevent child sexual abuse. I want to see a world working together to protect children from sexual abuse.
From South Australia, Sandra Miller.
I've spent most of my life working to create equality for all Aboriginal people. It starts with consultation, which must be heard and acted on. I want to see a system where Aboriginal people are on an equal playing field with the rest of society.
From Victoria, Professor Frank Oberclade, AM.
Many of the concerns we see in children could be prevented, or if we intervened early, could be managed more effectively. We need to focus on the health and development of all children, because healthy children grow up to be healthy adults.
From New South Wales, Teresa Plain.
Palliative care is love in action. It's a journey of hope and trust. Seeing the invisible and doing the impossible. I wrote those words 42 years ago, and it's the same today as it was then.
From the Northern Territory, Bernard Tikalora.
This is my final job, encouraging young people to continue our culture, follow my footsteps to be great leaders on TV Island.
What an inspiring group of human beings. Congratulations to all the nominees for Senior Australian of the Year. I was celebrating with a friend recently and he quoted George Burns in saying, "You can't help getting older, but you don't have to get old." And I love that quote. George Burns also said, "Don't stay in bed unless you make money in bed," but I think the first quote is more appropriate. Now, without further ado, Prime Minister, please announce this year's Senior Australian of the Year.
Thanks very much, Susie. Well, they're all winners quite clearly, but the Senior Australian of the Year for 2023 is Professor Tom Calma.
Professor Tom Calma AO is a Congarakan elder and social justice advocate. He's championed the rights, responsibilities and welfare of Indigenous Australians for decades. He was instrumental in Australia's Close the Gap campaign, in establishing the National Congress of Australia's First Peoples, and has been a leader in Australia's Voice to Parliament initiative. Congratulations to the Senior Australian of the Year for 2023, Tom Calma.
For nearly 4 decades, Professor Tom Calma has put his voice and himself at the gates confronting Indigenous Australians. He worked with others to establish the Aboriginal Task Force at the Darwin Community College, which provided second chance education programs for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. His leadership would translate onto the world stage, improving our relations with some of our closest neighbours. He then became a senior advisor to Australian government ministers, a role that would see him sit alongside Australians from all walks of life.
We as Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people will be able to, be active participants in our own future instead of being passive recipients of government policies and programs, as has happened too much into the past.
Tom became Australia's Race Discrimination Commissioner and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Social Justice Commissioner. His work through this period saw him guide Australia through pivotal conversations about our identity, such as the racism that followed the Cronulla riots and the Bali bombings. Most importantly, the initiation of the Social Justice Report, which was the catalyst for the Close the Gap campaign.
By 2030, we wanted to have health equality where Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people enjoyed the same outcomes as non-Indigenous people. And our challenge is really for the rest of the nation to come with us and understand who we are, understand that not only are we the first people, we're the longest surviving, continuing culture in the world.
It was his voice that was selected to be the voice of Indigenous Australia from across the country on the national apology.
Through one direct act, the Parliament has acknowledged the existence and the impacts of past policies and practices of forcibly removing Indigenous children from their families.
His passion for this country and for the marginalised peoples of this country is unwavering to this day. These issues consume his mind like few other Australians. He has now lent his voice to the campaign for the Indigenous Voice to Parliament.
What I try to do is just to keep people informed, to help develop their knowledge and let people make their own decisions. Many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the nation recognise that is one form of getting a voice.
A man of Tom Calma's calibre must be celebrated by all Australians for his service to improve the lives of many people around this country.
Thank you, folks. Yeah. Well, Prime Minister, Governor-General, members of the National Australia Day Council, fellow finalist, Ngunnawal and Ngambri traditional owners of this land. It's a privilege and an honour to receive this award that I share with all who have walked and worked with me over the decades, with a special acknowledgement of my wife Heather, who has shared my journey. Australians have only ever known a system where Indigenous peoples are treated as problems to be solved, not as partners and active participants in determining their destiny. Australians have only ever known a system of consistent policy failure and poor outcomes for First Nations peoples. This year, we'll have a referendum to consider a First Nations voice in the Constitution. Now, I know a lot about a voice because I've authored and co-authored a number of publications on how it can be done. I believe we must have enduring partnerships so that Indigenous communities can help inform policy and legal decisions that impact their lives, and we can recognise the special place of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples in Australia's history. Most recently, attitudes to reconciliation showed 95% of Australian voters believed it is important for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples to have a say in matters that affect us. And 81% of Australians believed it is important to protect an Indigenous body within the Constitution. As Senior Australian of the Year and a member of the Council of Elders for Aged Care, I want to particularly address senior Australians because you are the demographic being targeted with myths and misinformation by pundits who are either ill-informed or who have malicious intent regarding the voice. A voice is symbolic as it includes all of our First Nations in the foundation document of our country. It addresses the injustice of their past exclusion and provides healing for the future. A voice is reasonable because without a formal process to provide advice to the Parliament or Government, policies are too often made for First Nations peoples rather than with us. What Australians will be asked to vote on in the referendum is the principle of whether there should be a voice. It will be for the Parliament to determine the details of how it would work through our normal legislative and democratic processes. Enshrinement will mean our fate will no longer be determined by the whims of politics and ever-changing governments. The voice is not about special rights for First Peoples. All Australians will remain equal in the eyes of the law. The 2-year nationwide co-design process proposed that the voice will not deliver programs or funding and does not have a veto power. The voice has no ability to hinder parliamentary processes, introduce laws or legislation, nor change them, and the Parliament will be under no obligation to follow the voice's advice. Some might say we already have 11 First Nations members of Australia's Parliament, but First Nation parliamentarians cannot, nor should they be expected to represent all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voices in Australia. They answer to all of their constituents and they are an instrument of their political parties. Surely it is obvious permanent change that is not party politically driven is needed to deliver better outcomes for First Nations peoples and all Australians. To all Australians tonight, I want to say, the referendum is not a choice between improving people's lives or amending the Constitution. We can do both, but it will require bipartisanship, all levels of governments working together, and it must involve those most affected, namely Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Here in Australia, we are fortunate to be the home of the oldest continuing surviving cultures in the world. This is something we should be proud of and we should celebrate, as many of us are already doing. Let's do this together, as we did in the 1967 referendum and the bridge walks for reconciliation in 2000. Walk with us, vote yes in the referendum. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Huge congrats to the Senior Australian of the Year for 2023, Professor Tom Calma.
And if, like us, you've been inspired by the incredible stories that you're hearing tonight, then please nominate your 2024 Australians of the Year right now.
Yeah, it can be a family member who makes you proud, or a friend who's making a difference in your community, or a stranger who inspires you / you have a crush on. If you want to nominate, head to australianoftheyear.org.au and suggest an exceptional Aussie who you think deserves the recognition.
I have done what you asked. I've nominated you for the last 3 years. I'm so sorry that it hasn't happened yet.
I think it's a clerical error.
Clearly. Now, the national anthem performed by the ANU Chamber Choir. And for the first time in a few years, I'm pleased to say that you can join in and sing this to your heart's content. Susie, go your hardest.
You bet I will. thank you to the beautiful voices of the ANU Chamber Choir. Now, in just a moment, we will find out who will be our Australian of the Year for 2023. But first, I'm joined by our Australian of the Year for 2022, the wonderful Dylan Alcott.
G'day everyone. Thanks for having me, Susie.
Dylan Alcott, we are so happy to have you back in this room, not only to thank you for the amazing efforts that you have made throughout this year and all the years of your life and for the meaningful change that you have created, but because I think everyone can agree an event is just better when Dylan Alcott is in attendance. Am I right?
I'll take that. Thank you. I'm currently a washed-up tennis player, and in 3 minutes I'm a washed-up Australian of the Year as well. So if you need a third host next year, please let me know.
Okay, I hope you don't take my job, but thank you, Dylan. Now, we know that you've had a massive year. It's been non-stop. I know that it's been a tiring year. I know that you have gone to all efforts to get around this country and to spread the message that is so important to you and to all Australians. I want to know if you've been able to shape the change that you want to see.
Yeah, I've been getting asked this, am I proud of the work that I did? And I really don't think I did that much, right? I really think we did it together. I do the easy part, which is just be myself, right? Because this is why I get out of bed every day, is to change perceptions so all people with disability can make the choice over their own lives, live the lives they deserve to live, just like anybody else. And I didn't need to win Australian of the Year to do that, but I got to bloody say I'm very grateful that I did. You can hear in my voice, it's a bit gravelier than normal because I've just been talking non-stop for a whole year to anyone that listen. But to my friends in the disabled community, to the government, to the media, to corporate Australia, to every single person that comes up, like I'm not exaggerating, every single person I walk past in the street comes up and says congratulations for being Australian of the Year. And what can I do to help disability inclusion? You know, want to do better, want to learn, want to make an effort to make sure that the 4.5 million people like me in this country can just live the lives they deserve to live in whatever they want to do, education, sport, employment, in their dating lives, their social lives. And I'm just so grateful for it, and I'm really proud of the way that everybody in Australia really listened to that lived experience rather than spoke on behalf of people with disability. And, you know, words don't mean much without action, and we've done a lot of talking, and there are just tens of thousands of people with disabilities with such amazing contributions to make. Their voices need to be amplified and heard as well. But it's the biggest honour I've ever had in my life. I mean that. Wimbledon was cool, but this is pretty special, and I'm really grateful. And to all the Australian of the Year nominees, congratulations to people who have won and who's about to win this award. If you ever need anything, just give me a call, because it is a team effort, and I'm just so grateful for the support that I have been given from every single person in this room, everybody watching right now. I really am. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for entrusting me with what is a massive mantle to represent this country. I'm really grateful for it.
You're a humble man, Dylan Alcott. We're so grateful for everything that you do. We are so looking forward to you having a bit of a rest this year, although I'm sure that you're not going to slow down at all.
Oh, everyone's bloody sick of me. It's great. It's time for someone else, which is great.
Well, thank you again for everything that you do. The amazing Dylan Alcott. I think it's safe to say that you're probably one of the most loved people in this room, but we are about to meet someone else who you will fall in love with. So here are the nominees for 2023's Australian of the Year.
From Western Australia, Professor Samar Aoun.
Many people die in a way and a place that's not reflective of their values or their choices. We need palliative care services to work with the community to deliver a more accessible, affordable and sustainable healthcare system.
From Queensland, William Barton.
Music embraces all cultures of the world. It exists in our DNA. Our ancestors have created a safe space which is enriched by our singing to the songlines of this landscape. I want to use music to heal, connecting people without prejudice. I want to connect us all to the language of this land.
From South Australia, Taryn Brumford.
70% of Australian school children consider body image to be their #1 concern. It's my mission to help every Australian child to move, nourish, respect and enjoy their body, and understand that their bodies are not ornaments in life, but rather the vehicles to their dreams.
From the Northern Territory, Samuel Bush-Blanasi.
As the chair of Northern Eight Council, I represent the 7 region in the northern top end, in the NLC region. I had the opportunity of walking the 2 worlds, the Ballanda and the Yolngu way, to create change for my people. I want all Indigenous youth to be able to do the same.
From New South Wales, Craig Foster AM.
To tackle racism and truly embrace multiculturalism, every one of us in Australia needs to cross those religious and cultural differences and stand with and speak up for all of our beautiful multicultural communities as though they're our own.
From Tasmania, John Kamara.
We should not be an innocent bystander when it comes to racism and discrimination. I want all Australians to call out behaviours that reinforce beliefs that people of colour are not of equal worth.
From Victoria, Dr. Anraj Killen.
Our current healthcare delivery system does not cater to the needs of multicultural communities. We need a healthcare system which take into account religious, spiritual, and traditional values in order to provide holistic care to all Australians.
From the Australian Capital Territory, Olympia Yaga.
We have a small window of opportunity to take decisive climate action. Australia is uniquely placed to lead the world in solving some of our biggest challenges. I am focused on innovations that can be rolled out today that solve problems that are creating an unlivable future.
Well, it is now my enormous pleasure to invite the Prime Minister to announce 2023's Australian of the Year.
Thanks, Hamish. Well, what a remarkable group of Australians. But the Australian of the Year for 2023 is Taryn Brumford.
Best-selling author, award-winning documentary maker and body image activist, Taryn Brumford has spent the last decade empowering women around the world. Her documentary, Embrace, tackles the issues of body loathing and her own path to acceptance. A gifted speaker, Taryn's message has reached over 200 million people worldwide. Congratulations to the Australian of the Year for 2023, Taryn Brumford.
It is the most powerful thing I've ever done in my life, is learn to embrace my body. And I want every Australian to feel that joy and that freedom and that sense of adventure and that gratitude. So after I bought into those messages that told me I should look a particular way and that would make me happy again, I trained my body obsessively and I got the body, but I wasn't happy.
When Taryn posted her non-traditional before and after photos, it made headline news around the world. And I think it really showed us that women of all different shapes and sizes should be able to love and embrace the bodies that they have.
And what it said to me was it was a global epidemic of body shaming and people hating their bodies, and it needed a bigger solution. I thought, well, I'm a photographer and I love telling stories, so what if I bring those two things together and make a film? Like, how hard could that be? So I started a Kickstarter campaign, and the strapline was, embrace the documentary that will create global change.
So I went ahead and watched it and my mind was blown. I was just like, this is what I've been thinking and feeling. I think it just really opened my eyes to trying to fit the beauty standards that are set for not just women now, but for everybody.
I thought it was just such a powerful and engaging piece, and I really wanted to understand the impact that it had at a scientific level. We know from the research that women who had seen Embrace actually had much higher levels of body appreciation, and they'd gone on to help other people too. And so there was just this really big ripple effect.
The way that she celebrates her body and what it's able to do, and she talks about it being the vehicle to her dreams, and that resonates and lands with me really beautifully.
The message was so strong and powerful, and I knew that by sharing her story she would create change.
Now, it's so fantastic to see Taran's message being brought into classrooms all around Australia, and I think it's going to have a really huge impact on a lot of kids' lives and on their body image as they grow up.
If we get in early to our kids, we might be able to avoid all these issues and all of these problems that adults are experiencing.
Taran has taught me to not judge people based on what they look like, because the most important thing is how kind they are.
I just like being different. I never want to change. And also I'm still very hands.
I learned that it's okay to be different. It doesn't matter what you look like. It just matters if they're nice or not. Like, if they're nice, it's beautiful, you know?
Taran's work really has the power to ignite change and to enhance the health and well-being of the young people of today and tomorrow.
It's definitely made a huge impact on us, me accepting who I am and making sure my daughter can instill those same qualities and be confident and comfortable in her own skin and be herself.
I will forever be grateful that there are role models of women like Taran in the world for my girls to look up to.
Not only have you changed my life and my family's, you've changed the lives of thousands of people around the world.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land in which we meet today, and I would like to pay my respects to elders past and present. I have to say I'm having a little bit of an out-of-body experience on live TV with all of you looking at me, but I'm going to take a breath because our bodies are amazing when we do, so just so I can articulate my words. We weren't born into the world hating our bodies. This is something the world has taught us. Body shaming is a universal problem, and we have been bullied and shamed into thinking our bodies are the problem. And it's working, because 70% of Australian school children consider body image to be their #1 concern. We're facing a paediatric health emergency with rates of suicide, depression, eating disorders, anxiety and steroid use related to body dissatisfaction soaring. We now know that young people with poor body image are 24 times more likely to be depressed and suffer from anxiety. There's so much despair in this nation for children and adults when it comes to what we think and how we feel about our bodies. Australia, it is not our life's purpose to be at war with our body. Collectively, we are facing some of the most challenging environmental, humanitarian and social issues of our time. What if instead of spending our days consumed by hating our bodies, we could invest our time together to solve these challenges? And what if instead of spending their precious time and energy at war with their bodies, our young people were free to become the leaders, big thinkers and game changers the world needs more of right now? It's not our bodies that need to change, it's our perspective. Every adult is a role model to a child, and I'm not here to shame you or make you feel bad. I'm here to ask you to shift the way you think. Little Aussies describe their bodies as strong and energetic and powerful, and they have genuine love for all the things their bodies can do. This gives me hope that we can get in early and block the shame and despair, create body image safe environments for them to learn, live and play in, and let them live their lives as teens and adults with the freedom that comes from embracing your body, not the illnesses that come with hating them. And we know that kids and adolescents who have a high appreciation of their bodies and their body image are less likely to smoke, drink, or struggle with other addictions. And this is not about encouraging obesity. This is not what I do. And this issue, not simply about weight or size, it's about the way that we feel about all of ourselves, our skin colour, our height, our age, our gender, our unique selves. And it's learning to move, nourish, respect and enjoy our bodies, because you can't look after something you don't love. I often say that body image is a complex puzzle, just like a Rubik's Cube. I'm not sure if you've done one lately, but they're really tough to do. This year we have the Embrace Kids Classroom program curriculum for Australian schools and a game-changing documentary, Embrace Kids, which we are providing every school as a free resource. It's the most important film that you and your kids will see this year. Our mission is to reach 1 million school children over the next 3 years. Australia, we have 28,000 days on the planet if we're really lucky and we're not meant to spend them at war with our bodies. When you take your final breath on this earth, what thoughts will be going through your mind? What will you be thinking about? And no one has ever said to me the size of their bum. If we can embrace that perspective now while we're capable, breathing and able, and have the gratitude for our bodies, we can all access a more joyous, rich and abundant life. There's a lot of work to do, and it starts early, and it starts with us being role models for our kids by creating empowering environments where they can thrive. We're tired of just talking about it. We're tired of the misery and the pain of hating our bodies. My goodness, Australia, we are ready for change for ourselves and the generations to come. I would like to thank the National Australia Day Council, and I'd like to thank the most important people in my life. The real hero in our family is my partner, who's a nurse, Tim, thank you, and our 4 kids, Oliver, Cruz, Michaela and Jacob, to my mum and dad, who I can't even imagine what they're doing right now, my sister Justine, and to the hardest working team in the world, Dr. Zali Yeager, Karen Pohl, the Lisas, the Kates, and all of the Embrace team, I thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Australian of the Year for 2023. She's running away, Taryn Brumford.
I'm not crying, Hamish, you're crying. Now we'd like to. We both have been. Now we'd like to invite all of our Australians of the Year back to the stage. And while that's happening, Hamish, tell us what's in store from the ABC tomorrow.
Well, Australia Day coverage kicks off tomorrow morning with the Woogalora morning ceremony at 7:30, followed by the National Citizenship and Flag Raising ceremony at 9. And then at 6 p.m, there's a special edition of The Drum. At 7:30 p.m, Jeremy Fernandez will host the Australia Day live broadcast.
And if you need more Australian of the Year joy in your life, the show will continue on ABC Local Radio with interviews with tonight's recipients. But now, let's congratulate all the nominees from around the country and give one more huge round of applause for these 4 incredible Australians.
Australia's local hero, Amar Singh.
Young Australian of the Year, Awa Mabil.
Senior Australian of the Year, Professor Tom Calma.
And one more time for our Australian of the Year, Taryn Brumford. Thanks to the wonderful band, the ANU Chamber Choir and the amazing Budjera, as well as everyone behind the scenes who works effortlessly to pronounce their words as I do, but also to run this amazing show. And to you, Hamish MacDonald, what a delight.
Thank you, Suze. It's always a pleasure to do this with you. It's been a blast this year. Now to take us out this evening, Budjera and the band with Sweet Disposition. But for now, good night, Australia.
And thank you.